I am so happy to be with you here today, and welcome. Some of you may know me. My name is Sukhdev Jackson. I am half of the musical duo called Icona, and as a teacher, and as an artist and a mother and a Kundalini yoga and meditation teacher, I love to focus on women's teachings, on empowerment of all people, on using sound to heal, and on turning tragedy into victory and into destiny. This is let me know where you're calling from. Just let's tune in. Let's just have a moment, just like one word where you're at today. Let's just tune in. It'll feel good to see you. Hi, Sue. Hi, Joe. And just where you're tuning in from, and just one word, how you feeling? What's the current location of your feeling state? When we tune into and we can put word to where we are, then it really sort of opens a door to connection and some intimacy. Content, Susan said. Peaceful. Robin from North Carolina. Pura Vida, yes, I'm in the Pura Vida in Costa Rica. Janet from Brisbane, awesome. Kimberly, flexible, Joe says, nice. Hopeful, Robin. Paige, open. Athens, wow. Tennessee, North Carolina, super awesome. I'm tuning in with you from Costa Rica, the North Pacific side. Hopeful, beautiful. So let's just take a moment and let's do a little grounding meditation together. It's just a nice way to sort of enter into the space. So just bring your hands into a little teepee. So everything's touching, the thumbs are touching, the finger, every single fingertip. And you're right here at the heart center. And we're going to do a triangle breath. So you're going to inhale 5, hold for 5, and then exhale 5. So let's do that together, focusing the eyes at the brow point. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's go for a little moment here. Allow yourself to dive into the silence of your own breath. Eyes are focused at the brow point very, very strongly. That's the focus to hold. Keep going. It's about another minute. Last cycle. Inhale deeply. And just lock that breath internally and feel your heart. Feel the infinite intelligence of your heart and this wide view on your life. Almost like you're standing outside of yourself. Exhale. Again, inhale. And just go to the top of your crown and just kind of look down on the overview of your life, just for a moment, like you're a speck. Just tuning into the major events, just seeing the divine order of it all, and exhale. Inhale. Put your hands on your heart. Exhale. And asking you to relate to this sharing from the heart, to listen from the heart, and to let the words enter into your heart. Deep inhale. This is a topic that came to me, you know, as soon as I saw the email. I'd never thought about it before. And I think that so many of us in this generation, you know, and the generations around our age, and those of us who have dealt with addiction or are currently dealing with addiction, we have faced tragedy, most of us, in our life. We have faced traumas, and we are here on a path of recovery and discovery. I never knew, you know, 20 years ago, that this, you know, all the events of my life and my childhood and the things that happened, and essentially the things that I signed up for, would have me sitting here with you today, having a courageous conversation about, you know, choosing to relate to life and the events of our life with curiosity, with courage, with openness, with willingness. So I'm going to give you a short backstory so that you can really understand my own process of transmuting tragedy into destiny. and that might inspire something in you. So as a 6-year-old, I lost my grandmother to suicide. As a 7-year-old, my mother to suicide. And as a 40-something-year-old, just 3 years ago, my one and only blood brother to the same, what we call suicide. I relate to it now in a very different way. It's kind of a very tragic word, but really a soul is choosing to end the movie and begin again. So obviously, you know, a great rage, a great anger welled up inside of me as a teenager. I was very blessed to find a creative outlet through dance and music and acting and theater. And also at the same time, you know, falling deep into drugs, alcohol, you know, selling drugs, doing all kinds of most ridiculous things that you probably can relate to. Don't need to name them. And that went on until I was 33 years old. And I was in so much pain, you know, heading to LA at 25 years old from England. I was in so much pain that I just thought, there's no way out. Suicide is the way out, or there has to be a complete life change. And that's essentially when my rock bottom happened, 33 years old. And all the right people started showing up in my world, and the program, the 12-step Kundalini yoga teacher training, all the right teachers, mentors, and friends, just I had delivered to the universe. There's nowhere to go. I'm either going to be out now, or there's going to be another way to live and deal with this pain. It's too much. I can't hold it anymore. I'm too angry. I'm too sad. I'm too lost. That was the beginning. And here we are some 17 years later in sobriety, and having found a system, I would say, a technology to help process the past, to help liberate from the past anger, the past rage, the past trauma that gets wired in the nervous system, right? A lot of us have experienced that, whether it's anxiety, dis-ease in the physical structure, in the mental structure, in the energetic structure, and how it still stuns me to this day, how we can rewire and recognize and remember ourselves to our own true nature. It's the most beautiful thing. And it's not an easy journey, and I know you know that. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. But there is something that happens, and all of you wouldn't be here at 1 o'clock today on a Thursday if you were not leaning into that way of life of how can I serve? How can I turn my pain into medicine? How can I turn my tragedy into destiny? How can I heal from this? It's a journey of one day at a time. It's a journey of humility. It's a journey of using the technology, and really I'm relating it to you from a yogic perspective, because that is what I found, along with some other things that I get into, but that really is a consistent thread to being able to merge into the experience of the soul, to merge into the experience of the heart, rather than to be stuck in the victimization, the sorrow, the grief of the past. The past is gone. And the practices of meditation, kriya, mantra, community, showing up on your mat day after day, day after day, day after day, are the balm, is the medicine that opens the 1,000-petal lotus. The Tao Te Ching says there are 10,000 ways to the same truth. But ultimately, what we're talking about when we're talking about tragedy into destiny, we're dealing with a journey, a path of walking towards truth with a capital T. And truth has no name. It's hard to even say truth. It has no religion. It has no color. It is an essence, it is an experience of all the pain that you've lived in your humanity, in your physical structure, united with the incredible experience of being in touch with your soul and marrying both of them, yoking both of them, uniting the pain of humanness and the absoluteness, indescribableness of truth. It's a space, it's an essence, it's a walk, it's a lifestyle on the human level. And it takes great commitment, great humility, showing up day after day after day after day on your mat or in nature or whatever practice really does it for you to bring you to that neutral space in the mind. Trying to resolve things through the mind, like those kind of tragedies that we're talking about. It's kind of like walking down the street and falling in that same hole that we've walked, you know, and we fell down again and again and again and again. There's definitely some things that through a therapeutic work can be resolved, super important. But looking to reach this place of unity and turning tragedy into destiny through just the mind without the practices of breath, movement, calibrating your physical body daily is a challenge. So here we've been given this incredible ancient technology to access that space of truth within us. And all the different things that we go through on the journey are really important. If you're in a space of grief right now, the grief has so much to teach you. If you're in a space of anger right now, the anger has so much to teach you. Anxiety has so much to teach you. When we can approach these human experiences without judging them, without putting too many labels on them, and we can approach them with an openness and a non-resistance. So a deep self-acceptance, we can move through it. We can move through it much quicker than if we keep trying to resolve it through the mind. It only gets us so far. That's why the emptying of the mind and the daily practice, which, Tommy and all the people who teach on here talk about time and time again, and really anchor you, help to anchor you with that knowledge, is one of the cornerstones of evolution, of your own evolution, and the cornerstone of turning a tragic event in your life, whether it's addiction, loss, suicide, cancer, whatever it is. It's an energy, turning that energy into an offering. So sometimes, the grief was so deep and the sadness so profound that I just came to the conclusion that, wow, there is nothing else to do but to offer it. And essentially, one of my practices is I go to the Great Mother for sustenance. Nature, I pray to the Great Mother, I chant to the Great Mother. That's just really what lights me up. I was talking to my friend the other day and she prays to Jesus, and that's what really lights her up. And it's so beautiful. And we don't have to pray to one thing. We can pray to the thing that lights us up and that connects us to that doorway within ourselves. So the Great Mother does it for me. And I was just in this deep grief and this deep prayer. And I really felt that. I felt like, wow, the release is the offering. It's through the offering of my own pain, human, because all emotions are attached to the physical body. The soul has no emotions. The soul is neutral. So the pain of this physical experience, the only way that I can move through this, it's just to offer it, just offer it. And then, what happens? It becomes art. It becomes a song. It becomes a book. It becomes a teaching. It becomes a training. It becomes something that can help somebody else. That's the destiny part. It's the offering. And we all have a unique thumbprint. Our soul and our voice and our creativity and the way that we deliver our creativity is that soul's thumbprint, fingerprint. And we all have a beautiful, unique way of doing that. And that's the destiny. That's the legacy that you leave behind. I turned my pain into an offering. And I offer this to you just like I offer this talk, this inspiration. I'm totally unprepared today. But life has prepared me, completely prepared me for this moment. So this offering is straight from the heart. And your life story and your pain and your tragedy and your addiction that you're recovering from, and your recovery is the offering. Now, can we get humble enough to really lay our egos aside and have the courage to speak authentically, to speak truth, and to truly feel connected to one another beyond all the masks and all the identities that we carry as really a safety protection. So I leave you with that today, that the key and the medicine to turning tragedy into destiny is to be in the spirit of evolution in your own life. And there's no real roadmap for that. It rises and it falls. Soon as you think you got it, it's gone. To trust the journey, to trust your own journey, and trust what's in front of you, the hand that is in front of you, to lay it out, to take you to the next place, to have the humility to take the hand and to follow. I wouldn't be here today without the biggest difference, you know, are my teachers, my friends, my mentors, and of course, my practice. But I wouldn't be, they're the first people I pay homage to, is those who have laid the way for me, paved the path. So pay attention to who's in front of you and who's around you and who's giving you a hand. And be humble and say thank you and follow along. And there'll be a moment when you're ready to lead. When you're ready to lead because you've made your offering. You've made your offering to the Great Mother or to whoever it is that you believe in. And you're fully ready to serve in that way. We're all needed. We're all needed. Every voice is needed now. Don't hide. Be brave. Do the work and show up, because your medicine is key. There's no time. There's no time to hide out under the covers or hide out under our grief or our tears. Calibrate, build your character, hang around with those who can elevate you, uplift you, teach you, groom you. Grooming in the sense like helping you turn towards yourself, give you practices and tools that they know work to turn towards yourself, to face yourself. There's some, you know, as people who deal with addictions, there's a lot we get to face. And the path of sobriety is not for the faint of heart. It is a very humble path, but it is also a royal, regal path that will lead you to radiance and true success. True success being inner peace, knowing thyself. So thank you. Thank you for hanging out and waiting for me. I really appreciate it. And I'd love to take some questions and dialogue with you for a few. So if there's anybody who wants to step up and ask a question or get some coaching, I'm very happy to do that. Thank you for your beautiful messages. Really lovely. That's beautiful. So let's see, do we get some raised hands or questions or sharing? When did you begin to sing? So that's a funny little story. We'll keep it brief. So I fell into the breakdance movement when I landed in London at 11. I'm just a lover of music and a lover of dance. And breakdancing was like at its height, and I just fell in love with it. The breakdancing took me to freestyling. And I started to freestyle and became sort of a poet / hip hop artist. And that's when my music journey began, when really I was about 14. And from then on, I did that for many years, really pretty much a poet, you would say a rapper. right? And then that turned, when I landed in LA in 25, I picked up the acoustic guitar. And that really was like the beginning and the journey of singing begun when I started to play this instrument. I was singing before that, but like the real connection with the instrument, the guitar and the singing began when I was 25. Actually a little later. Singing was like, yeah, in the 20s, and then guitar was actually not till I was around 33, 30, when I sort of was heading towards sobriety. So that's the music journey, and I'm learning every day. I'm now studying classical Indian music, and that's, wow, blowing my lid, totally opening up a whole new world, and I am just so grateful for that. Thank you for that question. It's always fun to remember where it comes from. Anybody else? Clara. Clara, go for it. Allowed to talk.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi, Clara.
Hey, Sukhdev, how are ya?
Wonderful. Great to hear from you.
You are so beautiful and radiant and wise. Thank you so much for that presentation. I've taken away so much. Transmuting tragedy into destiny. There couldn't be a better way to put it. So I'm about to transmute some tragedy into destiny. I have been working on, for the past 7 or 8 months, working with a fertility doctor in New York because I'm still single at the ripe old age of, well, it'll be 44 on October 3rd. And so I decided, you know, I'm not going to let that stop me from having a child, you know, having that destiny dream baby that I always knew was supposed to come into my life. So, you know, there was a long road. I started the process in March. I also got Lyme this summer, which threw everything for a loop. I just finished all the testing and made the final step of actually selecting the donor. And I have now purchased the sperm. The sperm is mine. So I'm just, yeah, it's really exciting. But I'm also realizing that, and this is embarrassing to say, but I'm surfing right now in Assateague on the East Coast. And as I was in the water today, I started to think, you know, thoughts like, you know, am I going to be able to do the things I love? You know, how long will I have to take a break from, you know, all these athletic pursuits? And gasp, what's going to happen to my body? You know, and those were really just like, I kind of brushed them away as, you know, we don't need to, you know, deal with this. Those are superficial, non-humble kinds of thoughts. But I know that you had your daughter around this age, quite a bit younger, maybe by a few years. But how did you deal with similar, if you had similar feelings, and what should I be doing now to really create that grounded, loving place to welcome my child into, God willing? I mean, nothing is obviously confirmed.
Yeah. Amazing question. And, you know, I totally get, you know, women, we've been so indoctrinated with particular, just mute yourself while I talk, because I can hear feedback. But it is, you know, here is some incredible material for deepening. I mean, the fact of just choosing to bring a soul into this world is going to change, going to turn your life upside down in the best way if you choose it to be so. All that kind of stuff, once you start growing that beautiful belly, you know, it just becomes a little irrelevant. You know, I mean, I hiked and jogged, you know, until I was 7 months pregnant, and then walked until I gave birth. Like, and you are so fit. I know who you are, and I'm really glad that you spoke up, you know, but it's like, especially, that's the death of the ego and the deepening into spirit. And that's why we age so that the egos can die and we don't get so attached to this external form. which is so limited. It's the attachment to the external form, and I've dealt with it in my life, and I still deal with it, that really sort of robs us of the deepening experience of being in union with the soul. And when I look at the elders around me, and I'm surrounded by elder women, and the wrinkles and the beauty and the radiance that is there, that's what I call beauty. And then I have other women in my life who are totally made up, fillers, the whole nine. And it's like, okay, and that's another kind of beauty, but the radiance that comes from that internal beauty. And a child, that's a deep soul contract. That's a soul contract which will help you to accelerate your karma in this life. It will help you to truly mold yourself into that destiny, that leader and that woman of destiny that you've come to be. It's such a gift, and to really receive it, you know, with humility and with knowing that you'll be given the energy to recuperate your body. I'm in better shape now at 50 years old with a 9-year-old than I was at 38. My body looks better now than it did when I was pre-pregnant. That's what I think and what I feel and how I feel in my body. It took time. It took a lot of focus. It took dedication and discipline, but it's all here for you. So to approach this, you know, approach this from a place of, like, you know, the universe is for you, and you know that this child is only going to bless you. It's going to work you. It's going to strip your egos. It's going to rock and roll you and strip you naked. And that's what you want, because that's where the happiness is. That's where the joy is. That's where the humility is. That's where the non-attachment to the exterior of the body and the athletic pursuits. And I have to look in this particular way. It's there. It's in that gift. I hope that was helpful.
That was epic. It's going to rock and roll me and strip me naked. That's exactly what I needed to hear. Thank you.
Love you, sister.
Love you.
Ciao. Luis, come on in. Hi, Luis.
Sukhdev, Satnam.
Satnam, brother.
So good to see you. I have to be super honest. I had troubles signing in, and I just entered the call a few minutes ago. Okay. And I just felt so much happiness immediately when I saw you. And I just echoing what I read in the chat, and the energy that I feel is, you're just you're so radiant. I still remember the first time I saw you and Aka in a Kundalini University training that I did like 4 years ago, and just like when you started Kundalini and you would see people that had that radiance, and yeah, you and Aka have been an incredible part of my own journey, and just wanted to send you love and tell you that you are my elders, maybe not in age, but in teachings and wisdom, and and just to thank you for being a part of our community.
Oh, thank you. That means so much, Luis. Thank you. I got little tears in my eyes. That was so heartfelt. Thank you. Really feeling your love and connection, and feeling seen and heard. And it's as a human, it's always nice.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait to hear you sing some raga.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming slow, nice and easy. We'll have some new material out really soon. They want bye. Hi, bye.
That's
love
little
to
cielo.
you and your family. Thank you so much, Luis. Lots of love. Blessings.
Blessings.
Bye. Bye. So cute. Oh, I love the children. Okay, if nobody else is wanting to talk, then I think we can close with a beautiful gratitude and a prayer, the Recovery 2.0 prayer, which I really love. And I almost feel like I was at Tommy's side when he downloaded it, and we were just all like, what? That was amazing. So thank you to Tommy and the Recovery 2.0 crew for just keeping us, you know, involved and calling on us, and just feeling so honored to be with you all on this random Thursday at 1 p.m. What a blessing. What a blessing. So let us put our hands together and just take a moment of silence for all those who are really in their suffering of addiction, in their suffering of the tragedies in their life, and are yet to find and be called to a path that can facilitate some ease, some true ease. Universe, put us in the places that you want us to be, with the people you want us to be with, doing the things you want us to do. Thank you for the joys and challenges of our lives. Amen. Satnam. Namaste. Thank you all. Thank you. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Pay attention to the small things, the child's laughter, you know, just the nature, the gifts that are on your path right here, right now. Pay attention, be still, be calm, so that you can see those gifts and really embrace them. I so look forward to being with you here again soon. You can find me on Instagram at Sukhdev Jackson, our music on Spotify, Icona, and online at shaktischool.com. So thank you again. So much love to you.